Hello everyone, Fangs of Fire here. Welcome to, as the title lobby implies, the first game of a doubleheader versus Mr. Green. He has at my offer chosen faction and side first, or rather faction of which side he will play first. And he chose hunters, as over in Europe it is definitely getting towards the later side. So I'm not picky when it comes to what order we do things in. So as my the detail, as I am actually competing, unlike I shall have to sadly ignore chat during the games. Alright, what sort of hand have we got? Let's see. So, a new vampire, bodyguards, wolves, saboteur, bats. I might have an idea for this. The thing is, at this stage, at this stage, it doesn't matter whether I win or lose. I'm going to make the knockout phase. This is the last round. Even if I lose twice, I'm still in. I may be dealt a slightly more difficult hand then, so to speak. But nonetheless, it is not. I think I'm going to do something a bit more spicy than usual. We are going to do an England start when this time when Van Helsing is more appropriately located. Let's have some fun. Alright, a garlic on Mina, good. Rather poor quality item, although that is almost sure to change with her being with Gildaming, as always. So I think what I will do is I will go to Enberg, place the bodyguards. I'll go up to Enberg, place bodyguards, then hide for Saboteur. And then go to Manchester. Place the bats, and then place the new vampire at Liverpool. So ideally, what will happen is Van Helsing will will discover that as Enberg. I suppose ideally they don't discover, but if they do discover, Van Helsing will go up to Enberg to silence it, or I will get to mature. Oh, Jonathan Harker. Yep. Take it if you like. I almost want you to find where I am eventually. That is a nuisance, but it is no big deal. Yeah, as previously mentioned, this is the first of 2 games that we will be playing today. Our last games, the last games of the league phase, for myself and Mr. Green. Yeah, Mr. Green, I suppose a little about Mr. Green. When I first joined the community, Mr. Green was for a good while my teacher, while I was climbing up the steep learning curve of this game. Hide, place down the Saboteur. Yep, so far so good. But as the years have progressed, I have gotten to the point where, at this point, where he and I are very evenly matched. A game between us, there is no telling what will happen. No one is, obviously favored. Okay, had that landed at Van Helsing, that would have been crucial. That misdirect would have been crucial. It was precisely that local rumors at London that I was playing around when I misdirected. That, plus the fact that I'm going to have to go back there. And and lastly, because of Jonathan Harker popping up. So next I go to Manchester. No, next I return to Manchester, lay down bats, and then I go to Liverpool. And then what if they do discover that I am up here? One of two things will happen. One, either he will move and go to Edinburgh to try to silence what, when he discovers that is well, he will know in time to be able to move up there. The question is, will he be able to stop the bodyguards or not? And if I have that, and if I have that mature, that is a very nice tool to have in my back pocket. It's like when you, it is almost as if you gain a Dracula event to get it by maturing a bodyguards. It's nowhere near as powerful an effect as most Dracula events, but it's definitely good. A strong effect. Alright. Okay, bats successfully placed. Alright. Oh, that's interesting. Do I play a reckless vampire instead? I think it'll depend on whether he draws perfect time newspaper or not. I mean, I suppose it doesn't especially matter, because no matter what I'm doing, I will say that it is scary that if he does draw perfect time newspaper and already has full power CG, then things could definitely get very sticky here. I mean, he could just nuke me if he has that, and that would be just game over here and now. Okay, so far so good. One more to go. Discarding bullets. Okay, so the fact that crap. Yeah. At the very least, it was with Mina, so no one else got the chance to move. First. The fact that, but now the question remains: now that he knows where I am, and now that he can start sending Seward and others to help out, do I just start jumping on Van Helsing's location and try to do that? I mean, the fact that he hasn't just already put up a GG means that if he does have CG, it's at least not at full power yet. Which, there being 18 cards left in the item deck, that would not be at all be surprising. Alright. The fact that he waited so long on Seward makes me curious as to whether he has it, and considered playing it when there was considered playing it despite it being not at full power. So Van Helsing has plenty of time to move on Edinburgh, and to do it at a time where he can get past the Saboteur. And even if he can't clear it, I mean, it's still a means to clear the bodyguards at least. And since it's the hide card, it doesn't especially matter. Nonetheless, we will carry on with our plans. We will go with, I think we'll go with the Reckless. Doubtless Scotswood will think this quite the spicy choice to go uh, to be doing this, especially against Pete's Wizard setup. Alright. Okay then. Very well. The question is, how quickly does Van Helsing move? Will he wait until the Edinburgh card is right here, and this director is about to fall off the trail, so as to account for the possibility of a bats or a saboteur, something along those lines? Or will he instead just let that go, say whatever? Or for that matter, will he let someone with dogs or forewarned excellent weather across the North Sea to deal with it? That is the question. Yeah. He was guaranteed to reveal my whereabouts sooner or later due to Jonathan Harker, but it definitely would have been preferable had that happened at least even one day later, and with it still hitting the high card, and it still would have been nice. It would have been a little bit more stressful psychologically. Do I follow up with another vampire? Considering how well they are rallying together, that is probably not a good idea. We'll go with the spy. And I'll actually put my rumor token on Manchester to emphasize that he should search there. But in truth, that'll simply be an elaborate trap to get a lot of damage onto someone via a night fight with Liverpool. That's what I'm up to. So this is the day when I see what happens on this day will likely decide what I do next. Yeah. Sister Aggie. Oh, uh-oh. Okay then. Well then. That is interesting. So he'll go out to sea, so that if I move into London, he can land on top of me. And in light of that fact, since he... Oh, nope, he's choosing to move. Alright, is there dogs? Or no? Is there dogs or forewarned? It would appear as if there is a forewarned, but he may be considering whether or not to use that on a saboteur, or wait for a fog or a bats. Okay, he has the rifle to remove it, but that long pause seems to say that he does have a forewarned, which means that it's just as well that I led with the saboteur instead of the bats. Then again, that means that at least versus Van Helsing, this trap up in Manchester won't work, at least in terms of getting a night fight. Versus Seward, perhaps, but... Do I pronounce Wolfhorn to Plymouth? That will depend. Van Helsing's delayed, so he can't search Edinburgh, and this is interesting. Yeah, there is still the fact that I've caused him to have to move quite early means that his horse company is probably not in the best of shape. No. Definitely don't misdirect the Reckless like that. I could wait for Seward because he will have to let Enberg go. I mean, even with Aggie, full health 2v1. How do I feel about that? Especially if I were to lay a new vampire to soften them up a bit. I know that Van Helsing has a rifle. And Seward, I suppose more likely than not, has a knife. But how much time has he had to organize his hands? Not much. Seward has simply what he drew. Nothing more than that. They have not had time to organize any trades, barring Mina and Goldaming, neither of which are involved in this. I think that I go with New Vampire because, due to Van Helsing's behavior, I think I can safely assume that he has a forewarned. The question is, will he want... if they were sitting at Hamburg, there would be threat of renewed vigor with excellent weather across rail down from possibly both of them. But the fact that I have full HP for the time being, and the fact that if Van Helsing wants to join in, he will have to allow my bodyguards to mature. And if I get one of them down to 2 or less HP, to 1 or 2 HP, then maturing the bodyguards will be a killing blow to one of them. Okay, let's see what sort of stuff they've got. Okay. And what's more, by putting a new vampire here, this also gives me a backup thing to bat them into. So he's considering using some sort of combat event by that pause. It is amazing how much you can read into the situation. Or at least how much you can try to. We had best start with Mesmerize. Yeah. Predictable enough, but then again, so is Mez. He probably fully expected that. And obviously was hoping for it to simply be something else, but... let's see. What will he play if not dodge? Since I have 2 fangs to play, I'll save the claws in case he shows a knife. Okay, dodge. Yep. As it is, it looks as if we will simply have to fang and be content with 2 points of damage. Yeah, and the thing is, while I will be able to infer a couple hints as to what Seward might be holding based on a discard pile, he may well be stuck with like a bunch of like garlic, a crucifix, just perhaps just a few guns. I don't even know for sure that he even has his horse yet. Yeah, so there's no crucifixes in play. That is out of the question. That's one thing I can tell. Apart from that, really anything's on the board. Though I have the slightest hint that Mina is likely holding a gun due to how she definitely hesitated quite a while over the discard of the holy bullets. So now the question arises: Does he search Enberg? Does he leave Enberg and therefore give me a potential wolf form location to after the fight? Simply doing a trade, an escape route, perhaps. Because he knows that Van Helsing will take damage in coming down here. Yeah, this is definitely a far more aggressive strat than I usually do, but But even with Aggie, as I said, at full health, especially now that it's 1v1, is there heroic leap from Van Helsing? No, but he got an escape route. It is definitely very nice to burn that before I spring my bat trap here. So now he'll be searching Edinburgh to get rid of the bodyguards. And then tomorrow he'll move one of them to Manchester, almost certainly. How much do I care about the spy here? Do I go back to IRC? Or do I stand my ground? Or do I perhaps go to Plymouth? Do I misdirect Swansea as if I am going back there, but go to Plymouth? Maybe. Maybe. So he has dogs, and he has a rifle. That's 2 of his cards identified. So he actually could have discarded the dogs for the Saboteur, but since he had time, he chose not to do that. That's interesting. So that means that's actually could have been what he was stewing over. So obviously we layer this and place. The question is, like, do I actively go for Van Helsing and Wolfform there? Possibly lay down a Reckless Vampire or Wolves? Well, no, we'll just toss some rats down. Oh, fog. Well, that's nice. Huh. Now that is indeed an interesting draw. So I think I do misdirect Swansea. And he won't think it's so strange because I have a rumor token at Manchester threatening to mature a vampire not before too long. Now the question is, do I go to Swansea or do I go to Plymouth? Well, the fact that he used escape route means that he isn't looking for a fight. And Plymouth is actually less likely to be checked if Gul'daming and Mina come. So now we will go with a Reckless Vampire. Just keep piling them up. So many different things he has to deal with. Especially since I can rumor the London Vampire. The fact that Seward chose to heal it, and it seems to say that he does not have a stake to deal with the London Vampire. But the fact of the matter is, I may have to settle for 4 points, possibly more if I get a Fang attack in by him going there. Scouts? Okay, that's annoying. And you may use it to just flip up stuff. But yeah, he knows what I did up to that point. So. Will he send Seward and Helsing to battle me now? Now that there's nothing immediate for Van Helsing to do? If he does, I can whittle them down with the Reckless Vampire. Okay. Time to spring the trap. Do you have a forewarned? No. So, yeah, and a night fight with a new vampire will not be a pleasant thing. Uh-oh. But he but he would have to give up Aggie to do that. That's actually tough because I personally would be more. I'm hoping that he does not ally it, but unfortunately he does. But because yeah, I think, or let's see, do I bat him into the London vampire? Do I bat him into the rats? Or I definitely don't bat him into the rats. It would be nice to make use of the lair, but no. Let us go with, since we will go with batting him into Liverpool and revealing that there's a reckless there. Well, no. This is harder for him to kill, and there is potentially still one holy bullets on the table. Okay, I missed that. Yeah, ambush with the new vampire. So now he is fighting it by night, and he has already burned the escape route. Garlic wreath. Okay, fine by me. Because when it comes to damage, I can afford to take. I can afford it. We will begin with Mez, as he'll be looking to escape. He may do punch as a result, but oh, I got him when he dodged. Nice. Let's see. So I have several options. Do I simply tank the damage from the garlic wreath and bite him to get a point? Or do I do claws? Let's consult the discard pile for some advice. I think that at a guess I'm actually gonna go for the Fang play, because at a guess he's gonna. I think that he'll have a Heavenly Host, and he's looking to shield the Heavenly Host. Ouch. Apparently I'm wrong, but now at least I know he has that. Okay. If he punches, whatever. If he Heavenly Hosts, not so whatever, unfortunately. Okay. Stopped him escaping, at least. So, if I plot, it really won't matter. I think we'll go claws. Even if he plays knife. Evidently he does not have Heavenly Host. He would have almost certainly done that to take this thing out. Okay. This is turning out well for Seward. The restriction on the fangs meant that I ended up playing at the wrong time. Yeah, we gotta do strength and hope that he plays around me biting him, because I already showed that I was willing to do that. Ugh. That went poorly, unfortunately. But on the other hand, at least he's delayed. He won't be able to do anything during the daytime. I have some space to work with. Some time to work with, in other words. So I can wolf form to Swansea. And then hide there, so long as so long as the situation complies. And I think that I shall play down a Desecrated Soil next, given... Oh. I think that I will not rumor that. He knows about it, and it probably will not be hard for him to find a stake. He's discarded one, but... Yeah... So, with Seward delayed, only Van Helsing can confront me. And all this time, this reckless vampire is inching closer and closer to maturing. I know that he has dogs, and that he has a rifle. So... I think do I risk him having a stake and give up and potentially give up the whole vampire? Definitely questionable if I do. So Seward has a knife, and he had a garlic wreath. At least he had to. Yeah, he had to spend he has already spent quite a bit on this one vampire. He spent an escape route when he first landed there. Or rather, although that was an escape route to get away from me. Since I have a reckless here, what if I hide the lair and go into there? Okay, well now the question is, do I ambush? Does he have a stake or no? With only 5 cards left in the pile, it is getting more and more likely that he does. I think that I do ambush and show my hand in that was the original plan, to bat you into Manchester, where I would have a reckless waiting. But I could lair. I can lair. The neat thing is that if I hide, then I can hide or potentially feed. Then I can okay. Then I can potentially get him with. Oh, Holy Circle. Okay, so that was his last card. Fine by me. Use your card on the vampire. I will come to you. I will, and then I hide. And then I will hide, adding. What shall I add here? Probably. Quite possibly another. Since I now know he doesn't have a stake. Thing is, the problem. Oh, there's another stake discard from Mina, so that's now 2 in the discard. But it's fortunate that they all seem to be on the mainland. I shall definitely be hiding, since he didn't draw scouts or something of that nature to flip up the card, so I can actually get a second encounter here. What do I put down? What do I put down under the hide card? That is the question. Do I spend a fog? Given that they are now undelayed, quite possibly so. And then I could lair Manchester and lay down the fog, and then I can lair Manchester, possibly toss my hoax there, because I'm hardly going to mature a hoax up here. That is just not going to happen. And perhaps I'll get a better card to lay under the hide card. But you can see that I'm just burning away at the time, and he's not sending any more support. But the moment he does send someone else into England, then I'll leave. 2 is not threatening enough. I can hold my ground, at least for now, against that. Yeah, so I would lair Liverpool, move back, put one of my fogs down there, and move back in, possibly laying down my new vampire, depending on whether or not the Reckless survives. And I'm gonna lair it even if the Reckless does survive, because I don't want to wipe the new vampire and the Reckless that he will want to doubtless check at some point or another there. And since I have now established that neither of them have a stake, perhaps I should let him night search the Plymouth vampire. Okay, let's lair, toss the hoax there, Sagani Mob. I think that we definitely hide. The question is, what do I do? Put under the hide card. Do I let him engage? Do I let him engage me in combat, or do I instead try to prevent that? Then again, they are not optimally equipped. Van Helsing has nothing but a rifle in terms of combat events, and Seward has, while he does have a knife, I am pretty sure that he likely does not have a heavenly host. I would not be surprised if they will simply wait for me to come out of Swansea to engage me. So therefore, I think I will lay down the mob, as that is the best AoE thing that I have. Or perhaps this might persuade them to tell me a bit, for Stuart to tell me what else he might have. I think, yeah, I'll save the fog for now. I think I expect him to challenge me after I come off of here, given how poorly equipped his hunters are. I expect he'll spend today supplying, and then when I move on to Liverpool, I will lair Liverpool, place a fog there. Yeah, he finally seems to be realizing that I can keep up with this game for quite a while. If this is how you want to play the game, I shall oblige. Another stake discard. Wow. Despite all the vampires. Wait, oh, that was... Okay, so now me and Goldaming are approaching. Yeah, I correctly guessed that he would not engage today. I will have a daytime fight versus Van Helsing, who now has one unknown item. But so I can just play defensive and hopefully get in a hit or two. And now that Aggie is out of play, I can heal back up with a Fang hit. Then Seward will know that if he attempts to attack me at Liverpool alongside Van Helsing, he'll have to deal with he will have to deal with a reckless vampire and something else that is currently unknown to him. Okay, Van Helsing... Oh, he found the stake, which makes this move significantly weaker. But I think I'd still do it. I lair, and that is essentially the same as getting an encounter card. I can deal damage. Lair, lay down fog, and go there. Have at ye, Van Helsing. Let's see how brave you are without Aggie to help you. So, since that was his third item card, I know that he has nothing but a rifle to harm me. Surprising return, summoning Aggie back. Okay, but that means that he's burnt one already and has been through all the allies. Okay. He will obviously be looking to escape this with as little damage as possible. And he knows that I know what he has. So, I will say that starting with all 3 escape cards in my hand sucks. This means I will always only have 2 options. Let's hope that he does punch. And besides, it's better for him to dodge a strength than a fang. Okay, so do I let him go without any damage so as to not take 1 damage myself? Especially since he'll be ending his turn in the same place as Seward, so therefore, yeah, I think that I play around him doing, like, possibly punching. Yeah, with Aggie on the board, that was just not worth. I don't think that getting in a Fang hit would have been worth it. Claws will be a far more efficient way of dealing damage, I think. And the thing is, if Seward chooses to engage, he will have to. He will have to. I mean, first of all, I'll be able to spring the fog and trap both of them at once. He'd also have to depart from London, leaving my new vampire to mature. Although that would be a bit of an annoying thing to do. There's now 3 stakes discarded and or used. Yeah, so yeah, he'll have to consider what he wants to do. I mean, if Seward does not engage, or even if he does, and the fog is successfully popped, I may just feed, to be able to wipe the trail and give myself room to maneuver. So I do not want to step on Manchester if I can help it. I have a rats on Edinburgh. So the problem for him is that he knows that I'm getting 2 power cards back if he lets this London vampire mature. And therefore, that is, I mean, that's good for me. It's also possible that Van Helsing just leaves here, and he moves Seward to Manchester. Yeah, because 2 of them alone will not be enough to drive me off of here. And the wonderful thing about me forcing him to surprising return like that is the best thing about it is that he had to use a surprising return to get Aggie back, so now there's only 1 left. Okay, very well. If that's how it's going to be, so be it. Now I do have to be careful, because renewed vigor plus excellent weathers could leave me massively outnumbered. But I think that I stay here, because I already have a fog there. And how is he to know that? Because I still have a good number of cards left in the deck. For all he knows, I could have used a fog here under the hide card. There is still 1 stake unaccounted for, which is possibly why these 2 are coming, because they can hardly go chasing after my trail while keeping me in check as well. that is the beauty of the England start. And we are already getting close to week 3. I haven't gotten any influence, but look at my health. I'm perfectly fine. Yes, I'll take. Yes, I will lose some when I inevitably need to leave England, but. And the London, but the thing is that they do excellent weather across. So I do have the London vampire to intercept them. If they try that. Boing. Yeah, I need to draw at least one more hunter onto England before I depart. Otherwise they'll be far too hot on my tail for me to give them the slip. Yeah, this has definitely already been quite the spicy game. It's... This is already a very spicy and unique type of game. This is not something... This England stuff is not something you see very often at all. There are not very many in the community who dare bring out this sort of stuff, dare attempt this sort of stuff, who even dare attempt this kind of stuff, especially in a tournament, even in friendly matches. That it is a bit rare that people dare try it. Okay, so now I cannot misdirect anything to my benefit, so therefore I just feed, regain my last HP. Next turn, if the circumstances permit it, I mature London, getting back wolf form. Yeah, but if, on the other hand, if like there's an excellent weather, okay, they're coming out. What are they doing? Yeah, they're trying to polish up their hands, so I don't know what they have. Yes. Okay, Stuart had dogs, apparently. So it looks as if, unless Van Helsing, well, he won't confront a new vampire at night with only a rifle, so yeah. I think that, painful though it is to lose a reckless, desecrated soil, and, or, alternatively I could lair London, make him landing there all that more dangerous. I mean, then he'd simply land at Plymouth, I suppose. No, I need to get my, I need to get the space to maneuver. To finish drawing him in. Reckless Vampire. Well, then again, I could also just keep him busy with my trail. And leave now. I'm at full health. Because then the Plymouth Vampire, at least, can mature. I can refuel health from the desecrated soil if he interferes with the Plymouth Vampire. It's possible I should have done Dark Call first. Yeah, I think I probably should have done Dark Call first, and then I so that I can feed it to so I can feed to get back up to full while still drawing them in. So yeah, the question is getting 3 points worth wiping almost everything worthwhile here in in England while I go to sea? Answer, or alternatively going to Swansea. That's the question. Maturing a new vampire so that I can move to Swansea again. Or I could, in theory, go to Edinburgh, since I have a rats there, so I would have 2 encounters. That would cost me wolf form, though. So, and due to CG, just hopping across the North Sea is hardly the best of ideas. So, I think the answer is that I lair this so that Godalming will still be drawn to England, so as to lair, toss the rats there. Okay, and leave. Yeah, I think this is the moment where I leave. I leave enough trouble behind where they have to come and address some of it, at least. So, it's possible that he might attempt to leave that up to Stuart and Van Helsing, but he will likely guess that I have been getting rid of my worst encounters, so, especially after not ambushing at the lair at Manchester. And if I stay out at sea for 3 turns, I could be wolf on shore from English Channel, North Sea, or South Atlantic, and that might be a good way to try to give them the slip. Or alternatively, if Godalming does go on to England to help deal with the stuff there, I may have to lair this vampire too, to keep them engaged long enough. I'm not sure. This is definitely going to be a delicate process to the finish line. Right, Mr. Green's back. We have quite the audience here. I mean, then again, 3 of them are commentating the neutral perspective, and one is just one who's of. Look at me. So he is going to North Atlantic, which obviously is where I'm going to. Okay, so he's going to. That will admittedly mean that he will have to take a bit of a guessing game as to where I go after. Get my value out of the hide card. Okay, revealing a rifle. Deal 2 damage. And he'll search it by night, doubtless. Okay, so he will be going to Plymouth. He may have the stake, so I'll ambush. So I know he has a rifle. Unless there was some trade. The fact that he sort of revealed a rifle and not the knife that he had already played is a bit suspicious. Okay, this is hardly a welcome sight in terms of a hand, but oh well. Oh, okay. He's actually trying to fight it. So that means it's time to play defensive. Yeah, he'll likely... I can't risk a punch, so I don't mez. However, he maybe think along similar lines. If he risks a fang, he could do dodge. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how he'll do this. Okay, he went with playing the knife. So the knife got swapped to Van Helsing, and the rifle to Seward, by the looks of things. Okay. I dealt 2 damage, and I learned more about his hand. That is really all one can ask. So does Van Helsing have the final stake? As Seward searches, that will translate to yes, or he's at least going to try to night fight. If he doesn't, and choose to, I suppose, heal instead. Okay. Learning about a Heavenly Host could be pretty good, and drawing cards would be very nice, as I will definitely need some. So I may choose to lair this regardless. What if I were to wolf form back in now onto the London lair? That would definitely be a ballsy play. I would still have 12 health. And even in the case of CG, he'll know that one of them is a new vampire, and that alone isn't all that attractive. He can't use excellent weather unless while he's out at sea, unless I'm badly mistaken. So actually, I think what we'll do is we will mature it, claim the points, get 4 influence. And then we will wolf form it back into London. Say, here I am. And we will summon... For worst case scenario, I know that Mina has Lucky Find, okay. So, Gul'damin cannot get here. Worst case scenario is Mina has excellent weather, but I get the feeling he likely would have sent Mina instead of Gul'damin then, if he did. So we already have a damaged new vampire and a rats to damage them. Let's go with... Do I go with Sagani Mob when they have... Van Helsing is in no shape to come and fight me, so... I think that we go with a more individual. Now that there are 2 new vampires there, it is definitely worth rumoring. Speed telegraph. Okay. And renewed vigor. Okay, so this... unfortunately, this won't really mean much in terms of cooldomming. Worst case... is Van Helsing really going to be willing to jump onto all of that? I think it unlikely. And even if he does, it shouldn't be that difficult to kill him. I still have 12 HP. I have 2 new vamps with which I can whittle them down. 2 new vamps and a rats to whittle the hunters down. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they've discarded the dogs by now, so every hunter that steps here, without a rifle being shown, rifle or pistol. So at this point, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so Mia does have the excellent weather. Alright, we will ambush her with a lot of it. Or, actually, this may seem a bit strange, but I'm actually going to leave that one and not ambush Mina with it. Why? Because he knows that I would have likely thrown something like relatively not useful here. Okay, let's see what sort of stuff he discards with this. But now, it is true that I will not have as much not have as much opportunity to whittle Mina down, but it will give him that mystery as like, what if there's a fog there? Because he never saw the fog that I placed at Liverpool. So it is entirely an option, and what's more, I do have it in hand. So discarding a horse. Oh, he's going all in. Whoa. He's got... okay, yeah, that's relatively dud stuff. So, really it could be anything. But she's really going all in. So she'll be looking to escape as soon as possible. Well, Mez, if she plays Heavenly Host, at least she won't have it for me. That's how that works. Mez into dodge. Nice. Make it so that what she has will do less damage if he plays it and scores a hit. Okay. Bother. I'm gonna have to Mez again. I can't just let her escape with no damage. I have not been having a good time with combat hands this game. 2 bats, plotting, strength. We'll try for the plotting. That's really the best I can do. And if he scores a hit, I ain't it. Okay, darn. Well, let's hope that I draw a claw or a fang. Ideally a fang. Okay, claws it is then. She's mesmerized, so a knife wouldn't kill. Okay, dodging. Wow. She looks as if she's out to kill this. Okay, claw again. Okay, fortunately since she's Mez, that doesn't kill it. And now, I just play strength to make sure that she can't finish it. But she'll likely dodge. Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely not the best of combat hand. So Mia supplied. discarding a holy circle that will likely have been from the lucky find. She just got complete duds. Or either that or she already had that. But she's really gone kind of all in with this move by discarding that horse just as she reshuffles the deck. That's really something. So we'll discuss ambush with the rats, and then we will ambush with both vampires. Yeah. Destroy the rat. He gets to destroy the rats. It's possible that they'll go in together, and I can whittle down Mina more. Get her within claw range. Okay. No? Okay, so it's just Seward. He seems to have simply a rifle in terms of combat events. Combat items. We'll go with Fang. First. Oh, Holy Circle? Fine by me. That's one fewer item you have to fight me with. Oops. He likely will be a bit surprised by that one. Considering how he's played recently, I think I'll start with plotting. I think he will dodge first. Darn. Wrong. Could have dealt damage, could have mezzed. That was honestly just probably the wrong thing to do. Okay. Then Helsing, I just have to get one hit. He's already in claw range, but he still has, unless I'm mistaken, he still has both moves, so he can heal off Seward, perhaps. Stake. Oh. That's unfortunate. So that means I only have I think that it likely will delay Mina, as that'll guarantee the kill. Then again, then I could target Mina. So he had a stake, so that's even less that Seward has to fight me with. Let's Fang first. I do not believe he has anything to block Fangs other than dodge. But now the vampire can heal up a little bit. Make it not so simple when Van Helsing moves here. If he does. Again, 2v1 I am fine. 2v1 I am fine. I am content. Van Helsing I know has a knife. He's coming. Alright, well then. Seward has become delayed to help him deal with it. Will Mia do the same? If she were, I would have done so beforehand. Okay. This is intriguing. So if I survive this night fight, which all of them are now at getting health that is getting dangerously low. I know Mina has a knife. I know Let's see. Seward has a rifle and one other card that is unaccounted for. Most likely a horse. Horse or Heavenly Host. Mina has a knife, horse, or knife used to have a horse, so at this point she almost guaranteed has a Heavenly Host. Van Helsing has a knife. So, at this point, I kind of have to just choose one and go for a hit on them. So, Seward cannot deal enough damage on his own since I managed to get that Fang hit. So, one of the other two will have to go on the offensive. I think that actually what I do is I need to make sure that Van Helsing can't heal out of range. I think I go with Claws on Van Helsing, ultimately. Okay, yeah. And now, even if he has great strength, he'll almost certainly heal for his second action. Therefore, but all of this has served to whittle them down and reduce the 100 health totals that I have to deal with. So what will Gul'dan do? He has two actions, but if he simply moves by boat to another sea, he won't get to take a second action. Perhaps he lands at Nantes, preparing for when I leave, because obviously I will almost obviously be leaving after this, depending on how this goes. I could also just well be dead. 3v1 is no minor thing. Alright. Okay, what sort of events have you got? Plan damage on Van Helsing. Okay. Let's see. Double strength. Interesting. Mez strength. I think we start with strength versus Seward. Seward's last item is most likely a horse. Gul'dan and Mina, at least, both used to have horses, so the third horse is somewhere else. Unless Mina had two horses and was trying to reserve it for someone else. But the vast majority of the time, I will find it elsewhere. I think I start off with strength. I gotta play defensive at least at first. However, I will have to choose a Fang target. Well, I think that I strength Van Helsing. He will have to. One thing that Van Helsing does not have, I know, is a firearm. He will either choose to. If he has a Heavenly Host, that's what he will have to do. But now he is totally exposed to claws that I can follow up with. Let's see what he has. He dodges well. That's very nice. Wow. Whoa. Wow, that is extremely good news for me. So now, Van Helsing, unless I am mistaken, has nothing to block the claws. So unless he has great strength, Van Helsing's down. And if he does have great strength, well, at least I have forced it out of him. And I was not going to be able to take out anyone this round anyway. Yeah, I think he was betting on me doing claws first. Since I whittled down all their health totals like this, okay. Now I unleash my fury upon Van Helsing. Oh, he does have a gun. Okay, well that is unfortunate. So he has a knife and a gun. So, punch. Okay. And she went with rifle. So she has a knife, rifle, and... okay, so there will be some knives played this time. Doubtless. Where are the heavenly hosts, is the question. I do not think Suet has one. And I could... well, Suet still has his gun, and Mina and Suet have the... Mina and Van Helsing have their knives. Is there a way I can reserve enough HP for... if I remove one, that simply won't be enough, unfortunately, for me to escape his bat. Due to Aggie being in play. If that were in play, then I might... I think we will go with... the thing is, he will be a rather skeleton knife. At least with Van Helsing. So I think that the correct move is... I think I strength Mina. I am next to positive that Suet does not have anything aside from his rifle. So long as this is not a heavenly host, good. Now she is also threatened by claws, so it is quite possible that she will dodge next. Yeah, played the rifle. But now, unless I'm mistaken, he'll have nothing to block bat with. But since he did play it, he has gotten in enough damage to the point where I can't escape. Okay. So, Mina... the least I can do is get some points. At this point... well... okay, maximum damage possible from each player. Since I destroyed Mina's knife, she... since I destroyed Mina's knife, so Van Helsing is playing rifle, Suet is playing punch, so that's 3 incoming damage. Will Mina punch too? Well, he already has... yeah, I suppose that the hope is... I could just go out in style. But that would be for an amusing ending, but I think that I might be able to at least claim some IDS points by clawing Mina. Oh, she had a rifle? Wow. GG, well played. Yeah, in the end, the London play didn't work, but like I said at the beginning of the game, there is a certain amount of fun in this last round for me, at least. So. Yeah, there was definitely potential in that move, but it just didn't pay out. I just didn't draw. I mean, a lot of the time I either just played a bit too passive with my vampires, or just didn't draw any good combat hand. So things could have gone better, for sure. But yeah, I suppose as soon as we got the second game set up, see you then. Until then, bye bye for the moment. like I said before the match, like I told you before the match, if there's a time to get it fancy, it's now. And hello and chat. This is just a small chat with MG in between the two matches. But yeah, I'll switch back to the main display once we begin. But yeah, it's really nothing more fancy than that sort of thing. It definitely had a potential. Had you not discovered it so soon, and had Van Helsing had to go up there? Did Van Helsing have forewarned, by the way? So it was the dogs that you were puzzling over with the saboteur. That made me very suspicious that you had that. As you can see, I had a bat trap laid for you. Which, unfortunately, I got just a dreadful hand for when I sprung it. 3 escapes in the opening hand. Yeah. Had combat hands treated me even slightly nicer, I think that I could have won that, or at least survived that combat and then moved on.
It's kind of bad to be in England with no health.
Yeah.
One of the hunters might not be in our video.
Yeah. I suspect. What do you think I put in Liverpool, by the way? When I moved back there, like onto Van Helsing after I layered it and moved on to Van Helsing, you recall?
I don't know. What I feared was, of course, a fog. But
that's precisely what it was. I got both fogs early. So I actually could have put one there instead of the second new vampire. That would have, which in retrospect, that would have trapped 3 of your hunters just sitting around for a bit. So perhaps I ought to have done that, but well.
The final fight, Sword had forewarned.
Well, sure, but if you wanted to move Van Helsing in, I definitely would have waited.
Well, had you not ambushed with the second vampire, I would have traded with Van Helsing for a young kid.
Fair enough. Yeah, I suppose when it comes to renewed vigor, it's as good as 2 people having forewarned. Yeah. Fair enough. But yeah, I hope you found it at least entertaining, as I did have I did have all the pieces to that bat ambush in my opening hand, hence why I decided to go for that.
Yeah, it's good. Had I not had excellent weather on Mina, I don't know if I would have dared enter that city. Just 2 hunters was kind of weak.
Yeah, with 3 encounters to worry about, one of them being a vampire, you know.
Sure.
Well.
Got my food ready, so if you wanna get started again.
Well, you kind of have to select your role for that. But in any event, chat with you some more after. Chat with you some more after.
I don't think I can enter the game. Maybe they're round 2, double header round 2. It seems to be
oh. Drax, back. You need to leave. For until we begin. Drax, you need to leave until we begin. Max, holding of lobby, being 5. Being 5. Whoops. Well, yeah. Okay, so that sort of dropped out. So now you can. Anyway, then catch you after this match.
Yeah, see ya.
All right. Bye. Okay, you can drop out of the voice call. I see you there. Alright, now that he is left, I can switch back to the main display. So let's see. Let's hope that my hunter game goes better than the last game. Like I said, it was a little. Like I said, I have already secured my place in the knockout. I'm just fine. No, I may end up. It is true that I may end up. That I may, even if I lose, it's fine. I'm guaranteed a position in the knockout, so if there's time to goof around a bit during a tournament, it's now, like I said. Which is why I went for such a spicy opening. Such a spicy Drac play. But when it comes to hunters, you gotta be serious. And I'm definitely not gonna be chucking horses away for one thing. Definitely not gonna be doing that sort of thing. Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, it's really only with the hunters. It's really only with Dracula that you can really goof around a little bit. And you can do that with the hunters too, to an extent, like doing the weird starting positions. But when it comes to like trying to goof around and also win the game, it's far more feasible as Dracula than as the hunters. Okay. Steak, alright. Tickets. The usual rigmarole of the beginning of the game. Trade. Fetch the horse. Get the steak. Take the pistol. And take the tickets. Yeah. I don't know whether Mr. Green will intend to goof off at all or anything, but hey, I've been having a busy time streaming other people's games, so why not have a bit of fun? It was my thinking behind doing that stuff. Planned ambush. Nice card. Garlic and Rufus Smith. Okay. Well then, I will check Valona, see if it's Athens start. No. I honestly did not expect that to pop. Garlic and char carriage? Okay, not bad. Not the best, but not bad. Okay, oh, white one. And we just got another one there. Neat. Oh, and there's a third one. Beautiful. So now I have... yeah. I suppose swap the stake with the pistol. But apart from that, just keep it the same. Yeah, this time I'm definitely going to be far more serious about what I do. Alright, what we got now? Knife and a stake. That tosses away both of these things. I'll likely be training again tonight because of that. Wait, whoops. Misclick. Well, I mean, okay, we can improve course economy. That's, if nothing else. Whoops. Okay, toss the garlic. And take the rifle. Yeah. To just start working on horse. Continue working on horse economy. Okay, that's one down. Okay, he can just pass since he already has. Both he and Van Helsing can just pass. Let's see. Anyone getting a little too stacked on events? No. At least not yet. And I also have to keep in mind I have Rufus Smith that I can summon back whenever I like. So pass. You trade. So that Guldamin can. So that we can grab the knife. Yeah, this repetitive trading does have purpose. In the case. It helps optimize getting ticket economy, among other things. But okay, so this is when we want to draw our newspaper reports, ideally. Going to sea. Well, that's intriguing. Feigning an island start. That is. I see no benefit to holding this back, and it may persuade him to. I see no benefit to holding it, so. Okay, definitely. Yeah, I toss both of those. Lucky find. Okay, not bad. Dogs. Meh. Pistol. Discard the garlic wreaths. Now, the holy bolt is actually becoming useful now. Okay, give me a newspaper. Forewarned. Oh, Archwin is taking a peek at what's going on. Gracious, what an audience we have just sitting around in here. Oh my. Okay. No such luck. Pass. Pass. So really it's only Guldamin who needs to worry about stuff. To worry about tickets. Apart from that, my horse economy is all set. 100%. Rufus already accounting for one extra HP to else. That is not good enough to beat what I already have. Wow, so many Dracula events. Horse. Okay. Very nice. Okay, Aggie? Given the circumstances, I think I will poke at Galway. So it is Ireland start. Well now. That is interesting. Mina is well armed enough where I can start it. Let's position around him having gone to the North Sea. Make it a little bit harder for him to come in unopposed. I'm sure I can let him get his free vampire. Let me see. I've already discarded a stake. Mina and Guldamin already have stakes, so and I could try to get it via Holy Bullets, or could I? At this point I would need excellent weather to do that, so darn. Come on. So I have chartered carriage to get up there in a blitz if I need to. But pass. Let's take an event off Guldamin. I think most likely the lucky find. I might as well take the planned ambush too, as planned ambush is better with other folks. Pass. So this is indeed an Ireland start. We know that much. The question is he going to... Is he gone... He's gone North Atlantic. Has he gone Irish Sea? Is he coming to England? If he lands... This is the turn of most obscurity. He could be in 4 different sea zones. And I would not be able to tell. Okay, Wolf on Shore. Yeah, Rufus Smith may have encouraged him to cut the journey shorter than he originally planned. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just let that first thing... Oh, Heroic Leap. Nice. Good draw. Garlic Wreath? No. No, thank you. Or... Behind the Veil. Okay, then. Recklesses are more annoying, ultimately. So he has wolves, rats, 2 wolves, a rat, and a new vampire. Okay. So... The thing is, I can't rule out him being up here in England. And so long as that's the case, I can't in good conscience leave here. Surprising return. Okay, it's good to get that, because that means I can summon back Aggie when the time is ripe. Perhaps I should have moved Gladaming up here to scan Germany. That was a mistake on my end. Then again... Oh. Okay. Double knife now. Another charred carriage. Well, okay. We need better tickets. It's time for a sewer to start moving next turn. Possibly go to spots like Bordeaux. Check a couple other locations. Let's trade with Mina. Well, let's see. What's the event? Yeah, definitely. Or no, I'll make hand space by trading with Seward. Give him the... Since he has the extra item slot, I think I'll give him the extra the lucky find. Charred carriage is best with... I mean, I've drawn all 3 charred carriages now. Honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. It's not first. Let's... So, yeah, he could be in England now. And the thing is, it could have been via the English Channel, so I just don't know. I don't want to use the second surprising return already. So, I think, since he stayed in the same place, I'll have Gladaming train up here, and then we will trade him possibly trade him a knife? Van Helsing, or Seward rather, what am I saying? I think I do need to find something or another. Okay, that's better than the dogs. Another planned ambush. Now that he has 2, I'm wishing that I did not give him that. Oh well. Another heavenly host? That is unfortunate. So... Hired scouts. Okay. So... We can check Manchester. We can check Swansea. And if he will formed into here, he'll almost certainly be in Swansea or Manchester. I think now I I think now I can safely say that he is not in England. But let's see. Okay, good. All right, now we have perfect horse economy assembled. So that means that once Skoldoming finds this horse, he and the other two will be running around like crazy. So I think I will take a charter carriage off Mina to make hand space for her in case I need supply. Now a psychic bond, check Germany. So unless he went Brussels, it is not North Sea. So that is my first stop. Yeah, aristocratic vampire at Dublin. By the time I could actually tell, it was far too late for me to get there in time. So I have no idea where. I shall have Godalming continue supplying so that he can find his horse, but everyone else I'll start moving about. Oh, newspaper, excellent. Madrid, so it was South Atlantic. All right. One, two, three, four. I could spend it. Okay, now I can. All right. That being said, I can't. Well, let's start moving, as I do want to get someone to trade the Heavenly Host and knife. Like, select cards, use horse. Let's see. I think Frankfurt provides me with a more flexible route. In case he chooses to slip past this way. Yeah. Yeah, I have Rufus Smith. Okay, pass. Pass. Everyone passes at night, cause but Van Helsing until for now, cause now I know he's in Spain, which means that Rufus could still very well get some value. Alright. Just drop the stake, and the holy. Well, no. I'll have him drop the rifle and the holy circle, and then, due to the fact that he has a horse, I'll have him meet up with Van Helsing at Paris, either Paris or Nantes. Okay. Yeah, so I have a plan, a general plan assembled. So that was a very nicely timed newspaper reports to tip me off as to where he went. However, he now could go back up to England. That's a troubling thought. We search. New vampire. Well, I have plenty of things I could play. 3 of his cards are combat at events. And the thing is, I'll lead with, I think I will lead with escape. If he lets me go with taking just a bit of damage, That's... Okay. Yep. Bye-bye. For the time being, I can leave that be, since I have several days to get Mina here to gang up on this. Okay. Now I will trade with... Let's see, is there someone... Trading with Seward is beneficial, but I could also fetch heroically from Gul'daming, but then again, he too will be springing into the action very soon. I think we just pass. Everyone has items that help them. I suppose I could have traded one planned ambush off of Seward onto Mina. I see. Mina will get there. When that slides onto the very last spot of the trail. In that case, let's see. I'm gonna have to send Van Helsing down via chartered carriage to be able to get a reasonable 2E1 in time. So you can now start springing into action. I suppose, for lack of anything better, we'll supply. And then Van Helsing will come via train to help out with this. This means that I no longer have a perfect horse comedy, but hey, sometimes you gotta make some sacrifice. This is... I'll check out Bordeaux, see if he's been through there. No? Okay. Interesting. So, I think I daytime searched this tomorrow. And I can also trade Seward a Heavenly Host and a knife in exchange for the garlic and pistol to just better his arsenal. I pass. Have him trade with Seward. Have him initiate the trade. I suppose to make sure that all my hunters have an anti-escapist bat item, we'll do it that way. Yeah, and this way I can try to recover that ticket. Oh, what do you know? Got it. Yeah, he will likely go to sea this turn. And without hypnosis or money trail, I just haven't been able to get through much of the deck, I suppose. Yeah, there's still one rifle in that pile, so I have a 50-50 of picking up a better firearm with Seward. Choosing to stay, quite possibly a hide card then. And I do have to deal with Madrid, so he's not wrong that I do have other things to attend to. Shame that I don't have a speed telegraph, because then I could try to check on that. So you supply. Okay. Unlucky. Lost the 50-50. Excellent weather. That is very nice to see. I do not need char carriage. And now you search so that we can deal with this thing. I think that, given the fact that I have 2 planned ambushes, I will play one. It's possible that was a little bit wasteful, but Seward chooses dodge to see what he does first. Van Helsing will go with gun, or we'll go with, yeah, he'll go with punch. So, going with strength. Yeah. That is... do I have a better option? Apart from... I don't have CG, so going for... choosing to just perhaps dump a Heavenly Host might be... Yeah, and what's more, the deck is about to reset, so this is... if there's any time to dump a Heavenly Host, it's approximately now. Yeah, and since... I mean, taking 2 damage is not a big deal. You have to play around him doing... I don't mind showing that I have a knife on Seward. We'll go with pistol. I mean with rifle. Because garlic would do Uno good if he strengths... okay. I'm actually quite happy that the damage is split, because... yeah, that's just not good enough. Even if I had played escape, Seward would have finished it. We'll still finish it. So that's that dealt with. So, and me, and Seward, and, trying to get my names right. Van Helsing's heal up by night, so, I think that I will supply. I do have to toss the rifle, but great strength. Excellent draw. Skip. Pass. Rest. And then pass. Yeah, I still have plenty of health to figure out where he's at. I imagine it'll probably be now that he goes to sea. If he's just going in a quote unquote circle, more or less going in a circle. Still staying on land. That seems to say that he's gone through Marseille. Surprising return. No. Well, we play horse. Go to... let's check Toulouse. I don't want to land straight on him, but I do want to cut off... Okay, so he's still down here in Spain. I think that... let's see. From here... if he started here, he could have, at this point... well, except that I did step out on Saragossa on my way here. I think I'll just go with the worst one. Okay, that's where he started, huh? Okay, that's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. I... So, I doubt he would have chosen to go through Granada. So, but except that, at what point did I come down here? I suppose actually he must have. So, we'll check Lisbon. That's where he is, and apparently that's the only thing. Reckless vampire? Sure. Yeah, I suppose we just escape. If he gets 1 point after he matures a 7-point vampire, it doesn't 1 point makes barely any difference. So I don't care. Let him have it. I think he may have he may end up overstaying, especially since Rufus Smith is still in play. Yeah, and I'm guaranteed to roll well with Mina here. I have great strength, so I see no reason at all why I shouldn't jump in and do a 2v1 here. Yeah, sure. It is a shame that the other planned ambush still remains on Seward, but so it'll be a base 2-on-1. Yeah, I think we just escape. Again, at this point, a fang point would matter in terms that vampire lair wouldn't help. But I'm going for quick and aggressive hunter play here now. Cause he's at 13, but yeah, if I can get in even like 5 damage worth would be acceptable. Surprising return. I can summon Aggie to make things harder for him. This does mean that I forfeit Rufus Smith for the rest of the game. Which is definitely sad. But let's see. I think we lead with Heavenly Host on it. I actually think we lead with Garlic on Van Helsing because he would be less likely to expect I think he would most likely expect Van Helsing to play one if I did play one on turn 1. Let's see if I can catch him with that. Okay, there's hope for it. Went with strength, but I do parry it, so that is good. It means I get in a free 3 damage from the knife that Mina chose. Or no, that's a punch, right? I forgot. Silly me. But that's a free damage, no point of damage, no effect in return. We will go with... So, what now? I have Lucky Find on Seward, so if I lose the rifle... Well, no, I need rifle next round. I can't let him escape his bat on 3. I think he will likely Mez Mina now that she did punch. And well, I have 2 knives, so even if he does strength number 2 against Mina, we will be a bit disappointed with that. But okay, since it's Mez, I'm fine with that. But I dump a Heavenly Host on him, so he's taking a good hunk of damage here. And let's keep in mind that I do have great strength at my disposal. So now we unleash with our anti-bat weapons. Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly he'll do, but obvious things to do would be try to bite Mina since I just played a knife, or claw Van Helsing to try to just kill him that way. One way or another, I think I may have the game here already. A very swift game on both sides. However, he will win the IDS war, but honestly, I don't care. IDS is the second tiebreaker, not the first one. Okay, went with... Okay, so he's gonna take 2 damage from Mina. Okay, plotting. Interesting. Okay, so he's taking 4 damage here. The fact that I already showed... and now he knows that he can escape his bat against Van Helsing if he's been paying enough attention. I suppose I just play... Let's see. Let's go with garlic, as that is a way to give him some backlash for... Yeah, I don't have... Van Helsing, if he's paying enough attention, does not have an anti-bat weapon after that rifle. Since I already dumped a Heavenly Host, and I played garlic in the first round. But this amount of damage is actually better than I was hoping for. Or at least just as good. But I would have been satisfied with even getting him down to 5-ish. Would have been acceptable. Alright. Unfortunate, but that was going to happen eventually, no matter what happened. He hasn't played either Fang yet. So, okay, I think it may come down to the fact that he does not know that I have great strength. Because, yes, he can Fang Mina. And after I play the knife, he can Fang Mina guaranteed. But, since I have great strength, she will not die. And he will suffer more damage for trying to get through that. Yeah, I think great strength will be the winning factor here. So he will definitely expect my second knife and Van Helsing's rifle. I mean, he like almost 100% knows what I have done. Like, he's banking it all on... I think he's trying to get as much IDS as possible, knowing that he's... Yep, GG, well played. GG, well played. Like I predicted. Like I predicted. Icted. One apiece. One win apiece. Apiece. Peace. Like I predicted. One win apiece. Yep. So this is satisfactory. Yeah. Any comfort I had GS2. Any comfort I had GS2. So you weren't taking them down. Taking either down. So you weren't taking either down. Alright, so that's the victory. So that's my victory. Significantly less impressive because of the Ireland vamp, but Ina had forewarned too, as well. Well, Mina had forewarned as well. So yes, definitely, he should have. Okay. Alright, so we'll have a chat with MG about this one. But but I suppose while he's filling out the report, I shall do the same. I finally get to use this one for once. But for those who watch this on YouTube, if you don't feel like sticking around, then feel free to go now. But see you all next time. Thank you for watching. Any who are watching my perspective on Twitch, thank you for coming and all that. Hunter victory. Dracula was at 9 influence with, significantly less impressive, but nonetheless. But nonetheless, with the help of the allies, it did the job. Full days past 12, so I caught him even faster than he got me. Or like just as fast. So, yeah, I think I'll say hello to Scotsword while I wait for MG as well. But thank you. You'll hear the music go on and off because since I have only one laptop, I can't do things as thoroughly. I can't keep the music going while also visiting someone else. Hello.
Engaging kill now, right? Sometimes I think maybe that's a flaw of mine as a hunter player. I'm not willing to try to kill him that fast because I want to be able to make sure I have the inevitability.
Hello.
It's like I was looking at that play and I was like, oh, that's the second surprising return. Like, there's no more surprising returns for the rest of the game. I thought it was like kind of meh, but I mean, clearly it was instrumental in him dying there, right? Without Agatha, he gets away probably. He just escapes against Van Helsing.
I think MISTERGREEN, for whatever reason, maybe he didn't have escape as bat, but he had the plotting, and I think he had identified that was the reason.
Yeah. Some interesting chatter on Scotsword's channel where he, Pete Wiz, and Captain Gyro were doing the neutral.
Trail. Dracula's objective there is to stay alive.
Whoops.
Well. Pressure. If the hunters then misplay, if they chase after him and leave the trail to mature,
Hey, welcome in, Mr. Green. Hey, man. Yeah, had you gone back to sea again, obviously I would have left Rufus in place, so it was questionable how long you could stay at sea. And lo and behold, Goldaming actually had some surprises for you as well. Seward had the lucky find and the second planned ambush. Goldaming had a heroic leap. So I was well stocked on combat events, which is why it went beelining to you like that.
For sure.
I
have lost Cagliari and hide and feed.
Well, I still had plenty of time left, and so Rufus of course would have been doing his job in wheeling you down, but that push, knowing the fact that I also had great strength, so even if you had pulled off even if you had had a mez for Mina and or for one of them so that you survived that round, and then Fang Mina the following round, which I assume was your idea. Yes. To bite Mina and kill her. Yes, it made it so that it took too long for that to deploy. The fact that I had double knife, I took care not to show that immediately. But just as we predicted, it is one winner piece. Whoever is Hunter is the winner. And it's mess around in England day for us. Like I said on my stream, if there's a time to goof off, it is now.
Yeah, the plan was to leave Spain, but the game finally gave not a vampire, and I wanted to leave a vampire in Spain before I left. Bad idea.
Yeah, Guldoming had a Steak, Heavenly Host, and Horse. My original plan was for him to meet up with Van Helsing to trade, but due to how things worked out with Spain and rail lines, I will admit that I got extremely lucky in that by the time Guldoming drew his horse, and also by the time Van Helsing came off the island, I had perfect horse economy already. So that newspaper draw was definitely clutch. Without that, I would not have been. Seward also had a char carriage, as did Mina. So I drew all three of them in the process of the game. So due to that area of the map being what it is, I would have been able to get there, but I would not have been able to gang up on it. It is definitely. I did England start. Like I said before, or because for one thing I had an excellent hand to set up a beautiful trap, had I gotten a better combat hand, but especially with the rumor how do you like the rumor token on the bats ploy? That definitely drew you to that probably drew you into it all the quicker than you would have. At least that was the idea. To
Yeah, it seems I need to put a third hunter on the island to scare you off.
yeah, yeah. Even with Aggie, when I have that much health, I'm not afraid to do a 2v1. Being one, since one of my fortes is of course being a master of combat. So I really was not all that afraid of that, even with Aggie. And the London play definitely could have worked if I had, especially, but to talk more about yours, and you did get a free 7 points and then another free 2 off the Reckless that you were sitting on. But in that case, I say whatever. Even though I have no combat events, I do have, other than the fact that Mina was the one holding great strength, which she had drawn just the previous day. In point of fact, I had a sufficient arsenal with which to at least deal a lot of damage. I was looking for only like around 5 damage, and I would have been satisfied. Even if you escape as missed round 3, and take a bit more damage off of that, and strength, a knife from Mina and such, and so on. I hadn't quite reshuffled the deck, so therefore it would have gone. The fact that I had Lucky Find kicking around, I could have arranged for whoever lost more. I was actually counting on that garlic, you fanging Van Helsing round 1, which is why I played the garlic. But well, it did its job. Considering that I deflected a strength with it.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So on the whole, one win apiece.
Yeah.
You win in terms of IDS, but that hardly matters.
Sure.
At this stage. Nice to have a fun round 8. I will say.
Yep, it's fun.
I look forward to seeing Scott's perspective of like me walking around England and like how he reacted to how I did things. How I did things as hunters, I mean, by that one.
Yes.
But I think up until I wolf horned onto London, I still had a chance, sure enough. Because I was leaving enough things behind that you would want to search around, and that would label at least 2 hunters, if not 3.
Yeah. Without the excellent weather, I didn't really have what I needed to attack.
Yeah, in my game, Guldoming drew one later. In the game, like only a couple days before I struck at you. Yeah, what was so nice about Van Helsing being the one that searched that. I was able to trade with Van Helsing to optimize our arsenals between Seward and Van Helsing said both of them had a passable arsenal. which I made a breakneck decision to let Van Helsing keep give him Seward's pistol over rifle over a pistol, to make sure they had a bat weapon, which probably turned out clutch.
Well,
Since you knowing that you could have, because you actually could have escaped his bat on me on round 4. You could have taken damage from Aggie, yes, but the fact that I had played Heavenly Host, Garlic, and Rifle the round before, in the past 3 rounds, you at least ought to have known. Did you simply not have one or something?
no, I think I had one. I was just hoping for another strength.
Well,
I thought I need a 100 kill with that.
well,
With your great strength, I wouldn't get it anyway.
yeah, you would have gotten 1 more point from the bite, and that would have meant 10 influence in the end. But in the end, you made the wrong call at the beginning, which made me able to just get. It's like that thing with tempo in combat. You miss the first one, and it tends to spiral out of control.
In hindsight, I think I hoped for a third strength, but that's not possible.
For fog?
For a third strength.
Oh.
I think I've made a major mistake now when I think back.
I
Burned the 2 strengths in the deck, and I was hoping for a third one to.
Yeah, you burned the second strength in round 4. You
I think the
you
first strength slipped my mind because it did so little.
you had Fang, you had strength, Mez, plot, and then strength again, which destroyed one of Mina's knives. But since I had the other one, you couldn't knock her out of the combat in time.
Yeah.
Being out of strengths. Best case scenario was that you either escape his battle on Van Helsing, which at that point you had already gotten down to 6th health, I think.
Yes.
So you would have taken 2 damage from Aggie, and then you can barely travel far by sea at all.
Yeah.
And that was it was quite a good commitment, since then Rufus was out of the game completely. So if you had managed to slip away, you would have been able to travel 2 sea zones. But
Yeah.
I still had plenty of time. Yes, I had plenty of stuff to address, and I had plenty of things to address in Spain, and that would have slowed me down. But with all the hunters like right there, Gul'dami would have blocked Marseille, and probably moved on to Genoa after the second sea move. What I did not have was either Money Trail or Hypnosis. So if you had gone to sea again, I definitely would have been in a pinch.
Yeah.
But I had I got combat events aplenty.
Yeah. 1 hit point Dracula isn't happy.
Yeah, but one way or another, I suppose. Thanks for playing. It's good to have been matched up against it in the league phase rather than knockout this time.
For sure. Well,
Yeah.
fun. I think it's time for me to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Cry myself to sleep.
Yeah, and to those who watch this on YouTube, and also any who watched on Twitch, thank you all for watching, and see you all next time. Bye bye.